When I have a day where I feel like I'm treading water, I'm reminding myself that I'm not. I'm actually working really hard and I'm actually up against a lot of obstacles. It used to be that I didn't document this. I didn't write about it, I didn't make videos about it, and so people would assume that I just kind of sat around all day doing nothing and then hoping my life improves, and that's not the case, and that's never been the case. But when you don't communicate something, then people don't know about it. I did a lot today, even though it feels like I did nothing and I'm not moving any closer to my goals. But those are feelings and they are not necessarily accurate. So, I'm eating squash soup. This squash soup is over a year old. This is actually baby food. Either I'm gonna eat this or it's gonna go to waste. It's kind of freezer burnt and not tasting all that great, but it means we're spending a little bit less on food if I eat this rather than throw it away. And then let me show you what I did in the freezer. This is our freezer. It's organized. We can actually use it. We were really struggling with food. Being able to actually see what you have is really important for being able to make almost every single meal from scratch. So I have this method. I call it the 3 things method. I taught myself this. I came up with this myself and I found it really helpful. I decide on 3 things in the day, 3 things that I want to get done or that are really important to me. And there's no limits on what these things can be. Sometimes one of the things is self-care. Other times one of the things is like, it's an errand that shouldn't take that long, that shouldn't be a big deal, but I've been trying to do it every single day for 2 months straight. I'm sorry, the dishwasher is going in the background. Often I use it to plan my day at the beginning of the day, or sometimes I use it at the end of the day if I'm struggling to feel like I have done enough. So today, it was at the end of the day. So here's my 3 things. The first thing that comes to mind is I took care of some more of my dental stuff. I had a dental appointment today. They prescribed antibiotics and there's this tooth that's been an issue for several months now. It's been worked on twice already and needs further work. What's been stopping that has been long wait times. Even though it's an urgent issue, it's now been waiting several months. The dentist put me on antibiotics and said that he is going to call the medical director at the place that I've been trying to get in to see if it can speed things along. If you've watched my dental video, obviously this is very triggering to me, and I did it. I made the calls, I moved things forward. Hopefully my tooth will stop throbbing soon. I did the next step for that. So that's a big deal for me. I'm very avoidant of that subject. So big check mark there. Good job, you did it. The second thing, I'm a little embarrassed that I'm counting this, but it's all completely personal. And for me, it's a big deal that I got enough rest, I got enough food, and I was able to be present in the moment for most of the day. The typical distractions I would use on my phone, I kept catching myself and putting my phone away because I was like, no, I want to be more present for my life. And I really just showed up for myself in that way today. It's hard for me to get enough food and it's hard for me to get enough rest. Most days that's not even possible. So that is a big accomplishment. And I hope that someday that becomes the norm for me. That's obviously the goal, but the fact that I did it, let's keep this up. Good job. Big check mark on that one. And then the third thing, I don't always do this, but for today, I'm gonna count all of the miscellaneous small things that I did. The holiday planning is one big example to decide on which gatherings we're gonna try to make it to and which we aren't. Organizing the freezer is obviously another big one. But also small things like I got the prescription cream for my toddler's rash that's on his foot that we think is contributing to him waking up so much because his foot is itchy. I took out our recycle that was overflowing. I adjusted the app notifications on my phone so that I'm getting notified a whole lot less. It's just like a constant stressor in my life that my phone was notifying me of a lot more than it needed to. And so today I changed a bunch of those. I deleted some apps on my phone. In fact, I actually deleted the YouTube Studio app, which shows me numbers, because it's fun to check my YouTube numbers. Come on, like seeing people liking my videos, watching my videos, clicking on my videos, commenting. I love that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying that. But, you know, my goals are to be more present in my life. So the day was going okay, and then my husband had a severe allergic reaction. We're talking covered in hives head to toe, including his scalp and his feet and, all the weird places. Like, he had hives everywhere. It's kind of one of those things that's on the cusp of going to the ER, but not quite. Like, some people could go to the ER and it would be valid, but if you are experienced with allergies, it also potentially, I'm not a medical professional, don't take my word for it, but potentially okay to treat it at home as long as you are very closely monitoring the situation and have a hospital close by, which we do. He maxed out Benadryl, and it took a while to kick in, and then 4 hours later, he woke up and they were coming back, so we did more Benadryl. And I'm just like, I can't sleep now because I'm worried about him. I know that this is a precarious situation. I've had allergies a long time. It's iffy when it comes back, it really is. But he doesn't want to go to the ER unless he's dying. So I'm trying to respect that, but it is scary. So when I have a day like this, I don't see those struggles and go, yeah, okay, it makes sense that I'm struggling. It makes sense that I can't reach my goals very quickly. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. That's not natural for me. What's natural for me is I internalize it. Why am I not getting anywhere? I have these goals that I want, and yet I must just be really lazy because it's just not happening. I need to get off my butt and force myself to work harder. That's how I'm naturally wired. That's why I'm documenting this. I am telling myself, literally, right now, in the camera, you did a ton today. You did a ton of work. You had a lot of obstacles. I had to do a lot of what we call single parenting today, just because my husband had all the Benadryl in his system and was completely out of commission, and still is. I'm telling myself, look, you are up against some really big hurdles right now. You got a lot of stuff done today. And yes, it sucks that it doesn't get you further. But look at where you were a few weeks ago. Things are getting better. I just keep putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward in all the ways that I can. And that's all that I can do. And through all this, I have to remind myself, I was also an incredible mom to our toddler. I turned off Miss Rachel to toddler show, for those who don't know. I turned her off. He played on the kitchen floor. He found out that our little mini spice jars are amazing to throw everywhere. They make great sounds. So he was throwing them everywhere in the kitchen. And the lids on some of them broke. And so then he was sprinkling these seasonings all over the kitchen. He learned to smell them. And he brought them to me to smell, and I would smell them too. And then he found disposable gloves, and he pulled out one by one every single disposable glove, and he distributed it all around the kitchen. He was very happy with that. And then he brought his toy cars, and he was running them all over the kitchen. And I played with him. When he plays with cars, he wants me to take one too, and he wants you to do it with him. He gets very upset if you don't do it with him. I instinctively want to ask myself every day, what am I going to do today to work towards my goal of getting off of welfare? And if that was the only thing I focused on in my day, I would be getting further in my goals. But I have a life that's bigger than that right now. I have a toddler who needs me, I have a husband who needs me, but I'm telling myself, you're moving forward. Might not feel like it, but you are. So, if you can relate, let me know. Progress isn't linear. But I think I'm getting out of the recent hole that we were in, and that feels good. That's all for now.